weekly options and primary live trade brief, and actually just hung up after a good 2-hour trading session this morning, and I did end up getting filled on the this Friday's 22.35, 22.40 bull put spread. Rip your face off rally out of the open. S&P was up as high as what, 22, 23 points. Dow was up, I don't know, I think 170, 180, and then we pulled back. That's why you have to be really, really careful about these rip your face off rallies right out of the open, because there's a lot of pent up orders, I guarantee you, going into the new year here, and now we're seeing a little bit of it fade. I'm fine with this trade, and I still like it until Friday. And as a matter of fact, I told my folks in my live trading session we might even leg into an iron condor here, a weekly iron condor, because this is just, it's a little much out of the gate for where we are. Where are we? Trump is just continuing to poke China with a little bit of a stick here, and they kind of poke back with a club, and he pulls out a gun, and here's a nuke. Robert Lightzinger, U.S. trade rep, big China hawk. Peter Navarro, big China hawk. So it's not like this Cold War, which God forbid turns into a shooting war with China, is going to tamp down anytime soon. The FXI has kind of recovered a little bit from the shooting here. I mean, hell, FXI, the Brazil ETF, the EWZ is up 3%. I mean, nice recovery. Here's the I stole your drone. Here's all my hawks I'm appointing. Trade war, F you, F me, and then a little bit of a bump here. RSX, China. Everything kind of overseas is taking off today. Look at the RSX today. Here's the post-election Trump love. Here's a little bit of the hacking, Obama hates me, sanctions, and then here's the recovery. And then finally, like I said, take a look at the EWZ today. And again, we talked about all of these during the primary live trade brief just now. EWZ is up 3% today. So emerging markets, man, the BRICS are looking good today. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa is on the end of there. I don't think I could point that out on a map. Oh, it's South Africa. Good article in the Journal today about how earnings are really going to be our best friend in 2017. Not going to give you a full brief on this, but we've had about 5 straight quarters of just sucky earnings. And what's the market done? Gone up. But now the market's actually really going to go up on what it should go up on, which is actually earnings. But don't forget, don't kid yourself that for the past why has the market gone up over the past 2 years if it wasn't good earnings? It wasn't good earnings, folks. It was 5 quarters of flat to negative earnings growth. Buybacks. JP Morgan, Apple, you name the AIG, you name the company with these record low interest rates, they bought back their own shares. They stepped outside of their building and said, wow, look at this company, it's great. I'm going to buy some of this stuff. It makes the stock price go up, folks. It makes bonuses go up as well, so I wonder why they do it. It artificially inflates their earnings, their PE and everything, but it's caused stocks to go higher. But now the Journal is saying, hey, 2017 first quarter earnings are looking pretty good. Financials, expectations are already high. Who cares? For 5 years, financials have been sitting in a jack in the box as Obama beat the hell out of it with Frank and Dodd. Regulations, low interest rates with the Fed. Now Donald Trump's turned it and said, boing, higher interest rates, less regulation. We're going to take your corporate tax rates from 35 down to 15%. I saw some math that said, hey, JP Morgan, if their corporate tax rate is reduced from 35 to 15, it's going to increase their earnings 18% per quarter. Holy crap. That means the stock price goes up. So all the folks who are out there, and you know, I got most of my members here at TGO convinced that financials have more room to run. Some people are saying, I'm going to wait for the financials to pull back to get in. When's that? If my call sign's Wiz, is yours Nostradamus? Tell me the date and the time when financials are going to pull back. Can they? Of course, folks. We got to have a black swan event. I don't know. I really do. I sit here, I red team all my trades, and I say, how am I going to get shot down in this trade? I never got airborne in the F-18 saying, we're perfect, we're flawless, let's go on this mission, because that's when we all got killed. We don't. We do really well in the military because we have Top Gun. We have red teams that come in and rip apart our plan and say, here's where the holes are. Where are the holes in the financials? I don't know. The Fed doesn't raise interest rates. Is that okay? But they're going to. They've already said they're going to. We're going to get some minutes on Wednesday. to see actually what they did say about raising rates in the future. So Wednesday is going to be interesting to see what they have to say about rates. Apple's down a little bit today. That headline never helps. Apple to cut iPhone production by 10% in the first quarter of 2017. That was back on December 30th. So Apple's down a little bit today. Trump and Twitter, man, this guy is right out the gate this morning. He was up at 7:30, obviously. You know, he's working out, right? Shoots GM with a tweet. Hey, make your car in the U.S. or pay big taxes. GM, I think every company now that does business anywhere around the world that's a U.S. company has about 20, 25-year-old interns or employees sitting around waiting for a Trump tweet, and they have a hotline to the CEO that says he fired at us because GM came right back and said, hey, by the way, John, this guy's such a hack. John Harwood, if you're watching me, in which case someday I really would love you, you need to resign. You suck. You're a hack for the Democrats. You were in bed with John Podesta and the Democrats, and you're the senior White House correspondent on CNBC. You're a tool. President-elect disputing the idea of what's good for GM is good for the country. Anyway, I think GM fired back and said, the vast majority or a majority of the car is made in the U.S. Does a majority mean 51%? GM, you didn't put that in your tweet. So it's interesting. You got to be careful of single stocks around Donald Trump. You own Lockheed Martin. You woke up one day and he said, hey, and it brought tears to my eyes. He said, hey, give me a squadron of F-18s compared to one of these things. Love it. Trump knows what an F-18 is. So single stock risk under Trump with a tweet is a very interesting thing. But look at the market range today. So we had this little low volume pullback. Remember, folks, this isn't a pullback, a correction in anything. This was Rocco and Bruce trading on the floor last week as the only two guys that were there with 100 shares of volume. That wasn't anything to write home about. That's why I thought this rip your face off rally out of the beginning today was nice. But I told my members, I said, just let's wait the rest of the day, and then maybe we'll leg into an iron condor. Now we're even lower on the S&P, going flatter. So maybe I'd roll this down a little bit. No, that's looking good. Never mind. But good stuff, man. What else do we have here? Jobs on Friday. Yawn. It's not going to be as important as it used to be. Remember the jobs reports under Bernanke? Holy crap, we want a bad jobs report. Why? Because we'll get more QE, or he's not going to start to taper. The jobs report, everybody hung on this jobs report every first Friday of the month. Now, we might get back to what it used to be. It was kind of a good jobs report. Well, the market kind of goes up a little bit. Oh, it was a horrible jobs report. Well, the market goes down on it. I think we're transitioning out of bizarro market here. I said that a couple times in the past, and I was wrong, but now we really are in a whole new market here. We're looking for an uptick in the unemployment rate to 4.7, looking for non-farm payroll to essentially be flat, 178 to 175. I always look at average hourly earnings, folks. This is the true metric. I don't care. It's so funny Barack Obama is going back to his murder capital of the world that he came from. Nice job with Chicago, Mr. President, to give his farewell speech. And here's how many jobs I created. You created hotel keeper, hotel staff. You created bartenders and waiters and waitresses and busboys. Not to bemoan any of those people. I did all those jobs except clean hotel beds. I got to make my own bed. But they weren't quality jobs, Mr. President. They weren't. We've lost manufacturing jobs. The people not in the labor force, college students laying on their parents' couch in the basement eating Cheetos, is at record levels, at Jimmy Carter levels. You're going to take credit for all that? And here's what I'm getting to. Let me get off my side and rant back onto this. It's earnings growth. It's wage growth. It's been stagnant to negative. So some jobs might have been created, but they're not paying squat. They're not keeping up with the cost of living, man. So, take your victory lap and go back to Chicago, please. And get out of politics, man. You already destroyed this country enough. Enough of you, man. We're really looking forward to 2017, folks. I am extremely fired up. All of our portfolios are looking great. We had a record year in 2017 in all of our portfolios. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Thank you, Mr. Attorney. But, hey, man, if we nailed the election, we nailed the Brexit, we nailed to get out of China about a month ago before the cold, hot shooting started, and we're ready to go, man. If you want to take a test flight in any of our services, just go to topgunoptions.com, beginner, intermediate, advanced, click on that, see what we have to offer you, and you can get airborne with us, okay? I got to run, got a lot of trading to do for the rest of the day. Happy hunting, make sure you hedge, and I'll be back with Wednesday's market SITREP tomorrow. We'll